So everything okay, bro? Okay. Yes. Okay, so we'll start. If everybody can, so we'll start with prayers. ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सार्गजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नित्यानंद अवधूतेन्दु वसुध प्राण वल्लभ जानव जीवित पति कृष्ण प्रेम पद प्रभु पद्मावती सुत श्रीमान सचिनंदन पूर्वजः भावोन्मत्त जगत्राता रक्त गौर कलेवरः। नमो नमो अनिरुद्धाय ऋषिकेशियान्द्रियात्मने नमः परमहंसाय पूर्णाय निवृतात्मने स्वर्गापवर्गद्वाराय नित्यं शुचि सदे नमः। नमो हिरण्यवीराय चातुर्होत्राय We may not be recording it. We did. Okay. So Hare Krishna. Yes, sir. Yeah, we will do it. Very good. Okay, so we will start and we'll continue from chapter 7. So I see some new faces. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming. So every Friday we meet and we try to discuss on Bhagavad Gita. All of us are professionals. They have family. They do day-to-day job as well as they take care of family. So many times that question may come that why Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita at this age. Why? The reason is Bhagavad Gita has answers to all the questions, not only for this age, for all the ages. So we try to study Bhagavad Gita and try in practical way and try to apply in our day-to-day life. That is what we try to do. And it's an open forum where you can ask questions. If you have any doubts, you can openly ask the questions and I will try to answer. If I don't know, I'll take you somebody who can answer it. So chapter 7, knowledge of the absolute. So we will continue from 7.2, verse 2. Jnanam, please repeat after me. Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vaksham sheshataha yajnatva neya priyodnyacha jnanatvam avishyate. Translation by Prabhupada. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numerous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Perfect. Now kids can read. Who wants to read? Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, so I'll tell Ishan can start and I'll tell Ishan when to stop. So you can take this mic, Ishan. On, you want to go? Nicely, clearly, okay?
Complete knowledge includes knowledge of phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. This is transcendental transcendental knowledge because the Lord wants to explain the confidence above mentioned system of knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna's confidential devotee and friend. In the beginning of the 4th chapter, this explanation was given by the Lord, and it is again confirmed here. Complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of Lord in disciplic succession directly from the Lord. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, who is the cause of all causes and the only object for meditation in all types of yoga practice. When the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known, and nothing remains unknown. The Vedas.
Mundaka Upanishada. Yeah, no, it is. Repeat Mundaka Upanishada. 1.3. Say, Kasmin Bhagavo Vigyate Sarvam Idam Vigyatam Bhavati. Very good. Yeah. So initially I was thinking of stopping you after 4 lines, but you were reading very nice. So I thought, okay, let you continue. You did. Okay. So then Krishna will read the other purport afterwards. Okay. Now we'll discuss about, not now, afterwards. Yeah. So we'll discuss about this particular verse. Right. So translation again. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. And Prabhupada ends this, when the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known and nothing remains unknown. In one sentence, Prabhupada actually covered everything. Right? When cause of all causes are known, then everything knowable becomes known and nothing remains unknown. So before I start, just wanted to, today only I heard this. I wanted to share that, Prabhupada, how he has written this purport. Right? So, not this purport, these purports, like all the purports. Because if you see, this also is covering all the knowledge. Very important. The purport is written so nice. So, this is actually example of one famous baseball player. Yeah, he was very famous. He used to play, very nice, and he used to be, breaking all the records. And there was one speciality with that person. The speciality was, irrespective of what match, irrespective of whom he is playing, he used to actually give his best. Usually what happens, right, if the competitor is very strong, then usually the star players, the players would like to show their skill. But if this player was always he used to do. So some reporter asked him, why this? Why you do that? So he said that, I always think whenever I go in the field, I always think that there may be one boy, one person who is watching me first time. And if he sees me, if I don't play nice or don't play good, then he may think this game is not good and these players are not good. So that's the reason every time I want to give this 100%. So if you see the purports, what Prabhupada has written, right, those are also like that. That Prabhupada, each and every purport, he has actually thought. Like devotees asked him in multiple occasions, Prabhupada, sometimes you are writing so big, sometimes you are writing so small. So what exactly you think? So Prabhupada mentioned that, I always meditate and try to see that if this person, or any person reads this, what exactly they need to know. Right? This may be the only purport they may be reading. So I want to give them what is needed, what is best. So, and we also, if we think and read from that perspective, then we will definitely get complete knowledge. With that attitude, we should read. Now, if this purport is, this particular shloka is, if you remember, we started chapter 7 with Krishna telling, right, that what to do. So he says, first verse, O son of Pratha, now by practicing yoga, chapter 7, by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. That is the first verse. So here Krishna is telling that, okay, you have to know me, because in chapter 6 end verse, we knew that what is the culmination, what is the final goal, what is the best goal of yoga is always remember Krishna. Now in this chapter, Krishna is telling about himself, telling about all the things. So these two verses, verse number 2 and verse number 3, is giving importance to knowledge. Okay? So in this particular verse, he is telling, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. So this knowledge is very important. That is what it is. So how we should understand this knowledge? How we should understand this? By heart and soul, correct? After that, what we should do? Yes, Krishna himself is telling that this is also Prabhupada is maybe there. I'll give you one example, one story of Prabhupada. That Prabhupada, actually, one reporter asked Prabhupada that you are, Sarvagya. Basically, you know everything because you are realized soul. Realized souls are supposed to know everything. So, do you know everything? That was his challenge. He asked that. Do you know how many windows are there on Empire State Building? He asked this question. So that question was asked to Prabhupada. The reporter challenged that. Now that was a very challenging question. So Prabhupada gave a very witty answer. So Prabhupada said, what is the use of knowing how many drops are there in mirage? Mirage is basically in desert. Yeah, desert. You see far, then you will see. You feel like there is a water, but in reality it is not water. Because of desert and temperature, you feel like water waves. So there is no real water, it is just a sand. So that is what Prabhupada answered. Then even if you know, what is the use? Because it's just a mirage. No use, you are not going to drink that. Right? So what we need to understand is knowing everything is not sufficient. Only Gyan is not sufficient. What is Gyan? Gyan is a knowledge. So what we should do? Vigyan. Prabhupada could answer that way because he had a Vigyan. So what is Vigyan? Realized knowledge. Right? What is the difference between knowledge and realized knowledge? A knowledge is just to know. Right? What is important is it's fine to experience. So you add experience in the knowledge, that becomes Vijnana, realized knowledge. You can take the mic, please, because there are few devotees who. Yeah, sorry.
Now, isn't it like Vigyan is what we try to twist the knowledge, absolute knowledge, okay, what you want to basically get from it, okay, like a human brain understands everything through abstraction, okay, we abstract everything, okay, whatever is necessary for us. We don't, whatever we see might not be right.
Correct.
Might be something else or somebody else. But we abstract it, okay. The way you said, like Prabhupada, he abstracted, he just twisted what he wanted to do, okay. So, is it that Vigyan is always a twisted form of the Jnana?
It is not. Actually, Vigyan is realized knowledge. So what happens? Jnana is just knowing things. Right? Vigyan is you actually feel, understand and you experience that. So actually what Prabhupada said, Prabhupada actually went to next level. It wasn't twisting, it was next level. How it is? Because he was, even if you know, say even if we know that okay, there are X number of windows in Empire State Building. What is the use if we don't know what is the real purpose of our life? That is what we're doing. So all that knowledge is not useful if we don't know our real purpose of life.
So how are you going to go to that real purpose of life? So
Correct.
What is the purpose?
Very nice question actually. So what I'm going to do, there is another next verse I will be covering that. Next verse I will be covering that in detail. Right? So let's now first understand that yes, we need to go to the next level, which is realization. So how we realize, that is what we will try to see next. Right? Okay, so we'll go to the next verse. One more point I wanted to say before we go to the next verse, right? So everyone, yeah, you have to keep quiet, you have to listen. So now if you see, one more point I want to give, because many times we miss this point, so I wanted to discuss about that. So Jnana is important and Vigyan is much more important. So what happens? How we get Jnana? How we will get Jnana? When you ask questions, you get Jnana. You listen, you get Jnana. Right? You read, you get Jnana. So there are many ways you get Jnana. Right? But how you get Vijnana? By applying what you understand. By actually taking experience or shelter from the person who knows about that. Right? So many times what happens, we ask questions and we are using our intelligence and ask questions, but this asking, getting answer never ends. Right? Because what happens, it's like a ghost. Right? The ghost of questions are continuously coming on us. Right? So what we need to do? Yes, we need to answer the ghost. Definitely, we need to answer that questions. But that cannot be end. Right? We need to go to the next level. That try to apply that. Does anybody has any comment or question? Because what I meant actually is, we shouldn't just stop asking the question and trying to use your intelligence only. We should go to the next level, because unless you stop that, you will not be able to go to the next level. Yeah. Otherwise, we will go in a circle, just asking question, trying to get answer. challenging, getting answer. So we'll go to the next verse now. Yeah, receptive is fine, but what happens many times, even if we are receptive, then again question comes. If something we listen, then question comes. Oh, really it is like that? How it is like that? It doesn't make sense. That question comes. Never mind. Correct. So, but next time you hear something, then you again ask question. Correct. Correct. That is what I am saying. But sometimes what happens, it is not clear by intelligence. Right. So you should start with a faith. That is what I wanted to say. Okay. Yes, that is fine. Yeah. So we'll start with the next verse. Text 3. Manushanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatataamapi siddhanam kaschin mamipeti tatvataha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Okay, Krishna, you want to read? So you want to hold the mic, please? It's a big purport. Okay, so maybe first paragraph you can read, and then we'll ask somebody.
There are various grades of men, and out of many thousand one may be sufficient, interesting in transcendental realization to try to know what is the self, what is the body, and what is the absolute truth. Generally, mankind is simply engaged in the animal propensities, namely eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. And hardly anyone is interested in transcendental knowledge. The first 6 chapters of the Gita are meant for those who are interested in transcendental knowledge, in understanding the self, and the process of realization by Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga and discrimination of the self of matter. However, Krishna can be known only by persons who are the Krishna consciousness. The transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, for this is easier than understanding Krishna. Krishna is a supreme person, but at the same time he is beyond the knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma. The yogis and jnanas are confused in their attempts to understand Krishna. Although the greatest of all of the impersonalists, Sripada Sankaracharya, has admitted the Gita commentary that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This follows: do not accept Krishna as such, for it's very difficult to know Krishna, even though one has transcendental realization of impersonal Brahman.
So we can ask somebody else. You want to read? Okay, please.
Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the primary
Permeable.
Lord Govinda,
Ishvara Sacchidananda Vigraha Anadi Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam.
It is very difficult for the non-devotees to know him. Or three non-devotees declare that the path of bhakti or devotional service is very easy. They cannot practice it. If the path of bhakti is so easy, the non-devotee class of men proclaim, then why do they take up of the path? Actually, the path of bhakti is not easy. The so-called path, but when
No, it's the so-called path of bhakti practiced by unauthorized.
The so-called path of bhakti practiced by
unauthorized without knowledge of bhakti may be easy, but when it's practiced factually or according to the rules and provisions,
actually it is
scholars and
philosophy.
fall away from the path. Sri Rupa Goswami writes this in Bhakti
Rasamrita Sindhu. So you can directly read the translation, or somebody, you can finish with the translation. Devotional
service of the Lord that ignores the authorized
Vedic
Vedic
literature.
literatures like the
Upanishads.
Puranas. This is simply an unnecessary It is possible for It is not possible for the Brahma realized in personalist or the Paramatma realized yogi to understand Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the son of Mother Yashoda or the charioteer of Arjuna. The great
So we can.
demigods are sometimes confused about Krishna.
So we can ask somebody else to read it. Maybe difficult for him. So very good, Krishna.
Even the great demigods are sometimes confused about Krishna. Muhyanti yat Surya, Mam tu Veda na Kaschana. No one knows me as I am, the Lord says. And if one does know him, then Sa Mahatma Su Durlabha. Such a great soul is very rare. Therefore, unless one practices devotional service to Lord, one cannot know Krishna as he is, Tattvattah. Even though one is great scholar or philosopher, only the pure devotees can know something of the inconceivable transcendental qualities in Krishna. In the cause of all causes, in his omnipotence and opulence, and in his wealth, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, because Krishna is benevolently inclined to his devotees. He is the last word in Brahma realization, and the devotees alone can realize him as he is. Therefore it is said, Atah Sri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyah sevonmukhe hi jivadav swayam eva spruti adaha. Sorry for that. Okay, no one can understand Krishna as he is by blunt material senses, but he reveals himself to the devotees, being pleased with them for their transcendental loving service unto him. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah. So, big purport. So, there are a couple of points we wanted to say. One of the important point is the rare birth of human. Right? So, how rare it is? The birth of human, how rare it is? How many species are there? 8.4 millions. Yeah, 8.4 million different types of species are there. And after that, evaluation, then that whole cycle then a jiva, a soul gets a human birth. Right? So it's very rare. There are so many varieties of species are there. Right? 8.4 million. Even in the human beings also there are around 450,000 different types are there. Species are there inside humans. Like the different bodies, what you see, Caucasian body, then Asian body. These are the different kinds of bodies. So 450,000. Right? So the human birth is very, very rare. Right? So what we should do with this human birth? Right? What is the purpose of the human? Recognize who we are. If we don't do that purpose, let's take an example. Let's go a little back. Right? What will happen if we don't think? What is the difference between the human and animal? Let's try to understand that. So there are 4 basic things animal does and human also does. Yeah. Eat. Yeah. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. So eating, sleeping, mating and defending. These 4 things do. You compare that, right? Animal also eats. He will be eating on the some tree or maybe on the road, not here but in India. So what human does? Human just sits under a roof and eats. Sleeping, same thing. Human may be sleeping on the nice bed, mattress, pillow, everything. Higher standard of doing the same thing. Right? So what is the difference between human and animal? Only this, yes, we are a sophisticated animal. Is that the thing? Civilized animal. There are different animals also. They are also civilized. Sophisticated animal. Right? So because we are sophisticated things we use to do all these 4 things. Right? So what is the difference between it? That will answer the question. So what is the difference? Okay. So human has a sukriti or intelligence. Yeah, the other way to say the same thing is human actually has that intelligence to question why it is happening to me. If there is any suffering, right, especially, then human questions that, oh, why it is happening to me. Intelligent human questions why it is happening to me. Right? Is suffering, then why it is happening to me? What is the reason of that suffering? So it is trying to find that particular questions. You want to take, yeah, Krishna, to give mic.
In Srila Prabhupada's lecture, Prabhupada gave one example that in the slaughterhouses, when one goat is being killed or killed, the other goat is thinking that she's not bothering much. She's thinking I will not be killed. Like their sukriti is that, like animal propensity.
Yeah, very good example. Yes, that animal doesn't think, oh, that is happening with me, so it is happening with somebody, so it will not happen with me.
Yeah. So
in fact, human also think that way. That he sees that everybody is suffering, but this will not happen for me. That is one of the question asked to Yudhishthira Maharaj by Yaksha. That story of Yaksha. So he says that what is most puzzling in this world, and Yudhishthira Maharaj says, most puzzling in this world is every day there are so many people dying, but other people thinking that I will not never die. So yeah, but there is intelligence in human can question that. Now, once you question, what comes next? What comes next? So you try to find out, right? What is the answer of that question? Right? So this is the only birth, right? This is the only yoni or human yoni, is where we will be able to try to understand this answer and work towards the solution. Right? See, it's like there are 8.4 million species are there. It's like everybody might have worked on the giant wheel, right? The giant wheel you might have experienced, right? We go up and you come down, go up, come down. It is a little thrilling, right? But imagine that there are few people who goes there, and then this operator thinks, okay, inko abhi sabak sikhayenge, and he never stops that. It's continuously going up and down. So initially what they will do? Oh, so nice. They will enjoy. But then afterwards what happens? Right? They will suffer. They understand, oh, it's a suffering. It's a suffering. Only way to come down is stop and come. That is what we need to do in this life. In the human life, human birth is for that you have to stop that. You have to understand that this is a suffering. We have to understand. We have to stop. So how we can stop that? By asking that question, by trying to get the answer and try to understand that how we can act on it. Right? So how we can do that? Right? So we have the question, who I am, why I am suffering. Right? So how we will get that answer? Anybody?
All the Vedas are there and
Shastra is there,
Shastras.
correct. From Shastra you can get the answer. Right? So you can also get in touch with who knows the answer so that you can get that answer. Right? But what is needed from us? From that purpose. What is needed from us? Yes, interest,
enthusiasm.
enthusiasm. But what is the first thing you need to do? Faith. That is the first. You have to have that little faith first. Right? Once you have the faith, then you will listen to that person. So the second step comes listening. Last couple of lectures we mentioned about listening. Listening. So you have to listen, have the faith, and what is the third thing you would need? And most of the devotees who have kids and who teach them, they know patience. Right? Patience you need. I'll give you a very nice example. Once what happens in the village, first time a train comes, you might have heard this. First time villagers think hear that the train is coming. Right? They never saw what is the train. There is a teacher who says, okay, I'll take you. They go to the station. Right? And then they wait for a long time. They're waiting, train is not coming. Right? So one person says, oh, train is nothing. So if there is nothing, then he will come back. And he goes. Right? But there are a few more there. So one person is waiting, asking again. Is it there? Or aage? He's asking continuously, and then he sees a light there. Oh, that is a train. Oh, good. So I know what is train. He goes. So he sees the light, he goes. So he thinks what? Train is a light. First person thinks train is nothing. Right? He didn't wait to see the train. He didn't listen to that person, teacher also. Teacher is telling them, okay, wait, we will see. Third person, he sees that train is coming, he sees the engine. Oh, now I know what is train. It's just an engine. He goes. What he thinks? Train is engine. The last person sees the train coming on the platform. He sees engine. He sees all the, bogies, compartments, cars, yes, bogies. He sees people in that. He sees there is a driver who runs that engine. So he sees complete information about that engine, train. Right? So this person gets complete knowledge. Right? So if you think same way, in God realization also, these are the 4 steps there. What is the first step? When the person is not waiting and saying, oh, train is nothing. What is that? In God realization. They say God is nothing. There is no God. They are not ready to experience that, accept that, see that. So it is atheist, saying, oh, there is no God. The second, just seeing the light. So one aspect of train, one aspect of thing, just seeing one aspect of God is Brahman realization, which is effulgence. They say God is not a person, just effulgence. The next step is God is a Paramatma. Their engine can be a kind of Paramatma realization. And the last is knowing everything, complete knowledge. That is Bhagwan is a person, Krishna is a person. He has liking, disliking, he likes this, he doesn't like this, he lives where, all that information we know about Lord. There is a personal relation, and that is a final, ultimate realization. Right? So that to reach that realization, Shastra has given multiple things to us, depending on different yugas, depending on, they know that every yuga, everybody knows the yuga cycle. Right? There are 4 yugas. So what are those yugas? Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Right? So human being also in Satya Yuga, they used to live about 10 lakhs years of the span of the life. Right? So that much time was there given. So that time, what was the prescribed way to realize God or reach God? Meditation. So they used to go, in a remote place for years, thousands of years they used to meditate. Right? Now Treta Yuga is 10,000 years was the lifespan of a human being. So Treta Yuga, the prescribed way was to do Yajna Kanda. Dwapar Yuga, the lifespan was about 1,000 years. Right? So that time, Murti Puja or deity worship was the prescribed way. Now Kali Yuga, how much we have? 100 years about. That also if we can reach, right? At the max, around that, yes, you can say 100 years. So Kali Yuga, seeing this, and there are so many disturbances we have, seeing this very easy way is given for God realization. What is it? Chanting. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Kevalam, Kalev Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyata. So that means you have to take, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way than to take Lord's name. And there is a Mahamantra given. Right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So if this Mahamantra is chanted, then you will be able to realize, you will be able to have that Vijnana to reach, to understand the Lord. Okay. So any questions, comments? Okay, so
Probably, when Shankaracharya himself said that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he is head of all Mayavadis. Then why don't Mayavadis believe that?
yeah, because he has written many things, right? So out of that, yes, ultimate Prabhupada is saying is that, but people don't want to listen. Even when Krishna was here, people were not ready. Yeah, he is God. So now, even Duryodhana was saying, yeah, he showed him, Vishwarup also. Then he is not ready. When he came to, negotiate. That time he showed his Maharup.
Really?
Yeah. Still he said he is just a magician. Mayavi. Yeah. And Duryodhana is also very, all those were there for Krishna, they are also special souls. Because of that they could see Lord in person. Right. Okay. So any other? Yes, bro. So you want to take mic? Sorry, bro, because there may be some devotees. Yeah, just to answer, maybe you might have said the same thing. So, yeah, that is also given in this yuga also. It comes in the form of Bhagavatam. Is there in personal form where you can have, you can touch, you can see, you can smell. Yeah. Realize, try to realize, feel. Yeah. Lord is there. Bhagavatam. Yes.
Prabhuji, when we go through Anartha Nivritti, at that time, all these things that used to attract us, like movies, cinema, and all these things, what is the attitude? What becomes the attitude towards them? Do we start hating them, or are we neutral towards them? Like, do we feel that this is getting in my way of Krishna consciousness, so I hate this thing, or do we just ignore it, like neutral, thinking that this is also Krishna's energy?
Yeah, actually, you will try that to think as a Krishna's energy. Yeah. Because if you hate, that means you're doing liking and disliking. Right. So Anartha Nivritti and all the steps are what? Is basically you see Krishna as ultimate. Yeah, we have to be a servant to him. Right. So what happens in these cases? Then you need to understand that why we need to do this. There may be a reason. If you can avoid, nothing like it. Right? But there may be a reason why you had to go through that. So that you need to understand. Right? Take an example, Prabhupada also, right, had to go few things. But he always used everything for Krishna's service. So same thing, we need to understand this is, Krishna wants to tell us something, some message is there, we try to understand. If we don't understand, if we are not able to see, then pray to Krishna that okay, let me understand what you want to see. So that time even in movies you can see Krishna. I'm not saying that you go and watch movies, right? If you can do that way. Is it? Yeah, anywhere, everything, right? Everything is there. Yes, Mati, you want to give mic?
What I realized that
You want to see mic?
usually we don't hate, but we actually, our attitude becomes toward, the movies and all those enjoyment becomes neutral actually. So we actually start thinking that probably they are not actually, the path we should be going actually.
But that is not neutral, right? Neutral means doesn't matter. You see, you don't see. That is basically liking and disliking. Well, let him complete. Sorry, Mati. Yeah, please.
Yeah. So I mean, it's my own experience that earlier I used to like movies, but now when I see, I don't even get excited. But even if I watch some piece, I'm like, I feel like watching or no watching was same actually.
Neutral.
So that was the actually.
Yeah, mainly what happens that in Anartha Nivritti, because of chanting and all the processes what we do is, what happens that these things doesn't attract. Before we used to enjoy, right?
Yeah.
So now it doesn't enjoy. So that is, so if you don't enjoy, then it doesn't matter whether you do it or you don't do it.
Yeah, correct. It's like all the celebrities what I used to like does not mean that I start hating or
No, yeah,
I don't
that is what I
appreciate
said.
their voices or it's only that we don't get attracted or we don't much feel like going that way.
Yes, Mataji wants. You were saying something. So he come. He did.
No, it's like Prabhu said that slowly you get not interested anymore.
What is that?
Like Prabhu said, slowly you don't get interested anymore. You see it, oh, okay, but you don't feel like watching anymore.
Correct.
Yeah, whenever you progress. Yeah.
So the taste is not there.
Television was like every day, all day for me. Now television is there now, just like the phone. I want to see some news or to see the weather, but I don't even watch it anymore. It doesn't. I forgot. Oh, I forget.
Yeah, I shared with devotees before also. Weather is very important. Many times we see, but I observed myself that I was a few years back. I was too much of weather. Checking the weather. Then I decided that I will not check. Nothing happened. Even if you stop, because before what used to happen, that you used to think, if there is a snow, if there is something, I will not know. But during that experiment what I am doing, if there is a big snow, everybody used to talk about it, and you used to know. You don't have to again spend time to find the news. Yeah, that is what I said. You shouldn't resist it, because if it is making your family happy, then you shouldn't resist. But what this is while we are still going through the process.
While we are still going through anartha nivritti, we are not completely purified yet. So in this process, if we don't resist it, would it not come back and affect us? So would it not
yes,
diminish our effort?
Yeah, it can if we enjoy, if we try to enjoy, right? But how we will not try to enjoy? We learn this. How we will not enjoy? By stopping yourself, by replacing it, by taking higher taste, right? So see what happens. This is the ashrams thing. We have grahastha ashram, right? Grahastha ashram means we have some responsibilities. We have family, we have kids. So we have to make sure that we take care of them. So that is a part of the role. So you would need to do that. Is that okay? You. I'm not saying it will not influence. It will influence. So what do you need to do? Right? If you can stop, yes, you should. But if you cannot, if it is, big struggle, then yeah, you can continue. But then if it is impacting your chitta, then make sure before doing that, what will give you strength. You chant few more rounds and go. You read and go. Right? It is actually, right? It is actually. Yeah, his question is not that. He knows. Everybody knows basically. Yeah, his question is a little different. Right? Whether we should hate it. If I have to do it, whether I have to hate it. I hope it's clear. And there are many things. There are many things we don't want to do, but we have to do. But we need to make sure that why we are doing. First, we need to understand. We need to understand that we don't have to associate with it. If we associate, then we get that impression on us will be there. Okay. So, yes, please.
Now, we talk about association with the God, also the soul or Paramatma. Like many times we do this, okay, but we tend to lose that attraction at some point, and again get motivated to do something else. Now this cycle goes on and on. Okay, it's on and on. Like you feel sometimes you are in a higher plane, again sometimes you feel like so. How to come out of this really, like you say only through devotion or only constant doing like association with people who are knowledgeable or who feel that they are
Correct, yeah. So very nice question. So that is correct. We go up and down, up and down, up and down always. So how we will be always high, right? So we attach to somebody who is doing that or who is always high, right? I usually gave this example. Now, if you want to, appear for some entrance exam, right? So what is the best way? Is to get attached to who are doing that. So you can automatically go in that flow. You go and you get. So here also same things. So what you do, you get attached to such personalities who are practicing, and you also start practicing. So practice makes us. Krishna also told in previous chapter we said that. Because the problem, what is the problem? We're going up and down. What is the main cause of that? The main cause is our mind. Mind is made like that. It's a software like that. That it will say, yes, this is good. Then next moment it will say, no, it is not good. Again it will say, it is good, it is not good. It is good, it is not good.
But problem with mind is God has given authority to take the decision only to mind, not to the super or to your soul. Soul never takes the decision. It's always the mind which takes it. So how you tell your mind to take the correct decision? So how you are associating your soul with the mind to take the correct decision?
It is not true. I'll give one story and that may explain. And this is actually a story usually the local Indians say here, right? This story. That one old person is telling his grandson, right? This story. He's saying that, in your heart there are two types of dogs, right? One dog is always telling you to do wrong, wrong, wrong. Another dog is saying you always do right, right, right. When the son that grandson understands, he asks, Grandpa, which dog wins? So he says, the dog you give food will win. Right? So what happens that so the Shastra tells us, and that is what we learn, that there are three things which are subtle. Right? One is mind, and everybody knows what is it? Intelligence and false ego. These three things. We are made up of 8 things. 5 gross things and 3 Panchamahabhutas we know, right? Earth, water, air, ether and fire. Right? And then 3 subtle things. These 8 things we are made of. Right? So what we need to do, we need to listen to the intelligence. We have to sharpen our intelligence. How we can sharpen our intelligence? To know the knowledge, understand the knowledge and try to practice. Then what happens? Then we will tell to mind, no, that is not the right way. This is the right way. So practice. And God has given is not to the mind. To the soul that freedom is given. Either he can use intelligence, he can use mind. So intelligence is not only brain. Intelligence is not only brain, not the knowledge what we usually use that intelligence. Right? Intelligence is basically to understand who I am and act according to that understanding. Yes, ma'am? Yeah. Correct. Yeah. So, okay. So even analogy of chariot, because what happens, these all senses, right? Those are like horses, and then mind is a rein, right? So the intelligence is actually the charioteer, right? And then the soul is sitting there. If the intelligence, that means the charioteer is not controlling them, is losing. Each horse will go in multiple ways. Then we don't know where the chariot will go. It's like that. That is the example. So any other questions? You are okay? Thank you. Any other questions, comments? So just wanted to wrap up with just one more thing, because I think the point which I was telling and about the previous verse. So my point was, say let's give I will give an example, maybe that will be clear. Right? We have to understand the thing, we have to get the knowledge, but then we have to move ahead to next level to realize. That was my point. So what that means, let's take an example. Right? If there is a cook Very nice cook is it. Let's take Matajis. There are so many Matajis who cook very nice. Right? So you cook very nicely. You put everything nicely, do everything nicely. Right? And you are expert in the cooking. Now somebody else also makes that. Right? And if you eat and if you try always to think, oh, the salt is, half teaspoon is less, or this is less, that is, so if our mind is going only on that, then we will never enjoy the food. Right? So what I was saying, that we should get the knowledge, but we should stop, have the faith and go to the next level. Try to realize. That was my point. Otherwise then we will never enjoy any food. The example which I gave. You always will think, oh, this is missing, that is missing, oh, this could have been improved by adding some more spices. Then we will never enjoy food. Okay. So we'll stop here. Yeah, sorry, took little more time. Any announcements are there? I think tomorrow you're all going to snow or skating? Skiing, right? Yeah, skiing and tubing. Yeah, so if anybody is we're not aware and want to go tomorrow, so tomorrow devotees are going to skiing and snow tubing and Shawnee Mountains. Yeah, so please you can go, you can still get along and enjoy. We would like to come, but I have a little one, so I don't want to take him now, maybe next year. Yeah. And what else? Anything else? Jananand Maharaj. Yeah, so Sunday in temple program. So before temple program, Jananand Goswami's Maharaj Vyasa Puja celebration is there. So Vyasa Puja is like a celebration of birthday. So if you can make it, so please do it. It will be wonderful. Okay. So, and last week I mentioned, one more thing is last week I mentioned about 22nd. 22nd we will do Nityananda bhajans and kirtan. So if you want to sing any specific bhajan of Nityananda, please let us know. Please let Madhu Prabhu know. He will be maintaining the schedule, helping us in that. Also, we will try to provide you the songs. Hopefully, I'll try to, next few days, I'll try to give. So you can try to find the tunes and sing. So let's do that particular Friday. Just try to remember Nityananda and sing his bhajans. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Stop. Oh, chanting. Sorry.